All right, guys, let's jump into this. I'm going to do what I always do when I'm sharing magic with friends, and that is I'm going to take you through this in great detail, but also very swiftly. You can rewind this, you can watch it again and again, but the basic idea is so simple. All right, so the idea is that we have 3 coins, and no matter how close you get from the front, they look exactly like 3 coins because you have heads, tails, you have edges and ridges. You can separate each one from the other. But of course, this is 2 shells fitting over 1 milled down coin. Now these are precision made shells, custom made for this. And I'm going to explain to you the main principle because the idea of 2 shells, one within the other, very old. 1922, according to David Roth, he said he found it in a book from 1922, not credited to anybody specifically. I had the idea when I used to use a flipper and a shell, and others have done that. But this is the key. The key is a way to use this system silently. And if you were just to nest a big shell into a smaller shell, into a smaller coin, you can't manage this. Because when you go to drop it out, it's not going to work very well. Instead, I want to show you how what I have done here is to place 1 coin in a shell and the other coin on top facing the other way. So that if you were to break this unit apart, you would have a shell, which is your largest expanded shell, and then inside the other way are 2 coins. One is a shell and one is the small milled down coin. So it starts like this. And notice that when those 2 are together, ideally you'll have a head and a tail. And now typically, a smaller shell would not fit in a bigger shell the other way, but this set has been made so that it will. And this is your unit. And this unit can be rolled down your fingers, can be shown around without ever making a sound. You might get a little click, and you'll see as you begin to play with it, if you're getting that little click, you know what kind of environment you can perform it in. If it was really, really, really quiet, you're not going to want to take the risk. But this, you can denest one by one silently. Now, we're going to get in a minute into explaining my last coin vanish, which uses a watch. The watch I use has a Twist-A-Flex band on it. You can use a leather band is great. You can even use a metal band with links, but you have to make sure it's pretty snug against your wrist. If it's very loose, it's not going to work. If you don't want to use a watch, you can just roll your sleeves down like with a jacket, and that'll work too. So, with all that said, let's get into a basic production sequence. A basic production sequence. So, I'm going to assume that you have your triad coins gimmick set up in the way it's supposed to be, with the shell and the coin nested inside the expanded shell. You've got a head and a tail coin, and you can start with that coin in finger palm. So right off the bat, you can show both hands empty just by keeping everything loose and hiding it in finger palm. The caps and Mellini subtlety are both excellent here. Just keeping it loose while you talk, while you gesture, and you're good to go. First coin production, push it up to the fingertips. This could be done as they throw an invisible coin to you and you catch it. This could also be done plucking it from your clothes, and this could be done in a snap at the fingertips, however you like to do it. So you're just gesturing, you're being natural. First one. Now, you're going to transfer the coin from a fingertips to position to what David Roth and others refer to as spellbound position. So it's just like this, all right? And when you've got it like this, you can gesture, and in an offbeat, as you're very loose, all that's going to happen is if you ease your grip with your right thumb, a beautiful thing happens. Both coins will fall, just like this, onto your fingertips. But because of the way that the shell and the coin are nested, they're not going to fall one and then the other and make this tinny weird sound. They just all fall with barely a touch of a sound, maybe a little tiny click that would be covered with any ambient noise, and even if you talked over it. And that's going to give you your second coin. So once that's here, I usually like to take this coin into my left hand, and you can show it's just the one again. produce the second coin. Exact same handling. You have to show this front and back. So by showing it heads and now tails, you're set up to drop out that milled down coin as you gesture. It falls out. It's now on my fingertips, ready to be produced, and I can take the second coin with the first. So it's just the two, and now you can produce this third coin any way you like. And again, it goes here, and you have this beautiful display of 3 coins from nothing. Now that's the overarching action. Let's go in and fill in the details that make this a nice, pretty sequence. You start with the triad coins in the way it's supposed to be. Make a production. At this point, pause. You're not palming anything else. There's no other way to achieve this result without a gaff like this or similar to it, where you can show hands both empty, roll it down your fingers if you like, and you really only have 1 coin. Now you let it fall from spellbound position to your fingertips, and you produce number 2. Same thing. Show 2 coins. Indeed, 2 coins in your hands. Again, denest with the spellbound position, produce the third, and now you can be very free with this one. You can hand it out, you can flick it, anything you like, and now when you hold it up, you have all 3 coins. And not only are you ready to go into the vanish section, but you can pause here and really show. Now we're going to talk about the vanish sequence. Now, if you're with me this far and you've been following along, I have to tell you, my preference is to use only the vanish, to do it only once, and to just end the whole trick with this sequence, to come out with the coins and then do the vanish. I've tried it every different way, every possible combination, and there is something so visceral, so strong, so confounding about showing 3 coins and then causing each one to disappear with empty hands in between. This is truly, I believe, one of the strongest things you can do. And here's the best news. It couldn't be easier. It couldn't be easier to do thanks to our setup with the triad coin gimmick and 2 coin shells with the watch. So let's not gloss over some details, because in the last 14 years or more that I've been doing this, I have come up with some things that make this really sing, and I'm going to share everything with you. So if you've just done the production sequence, you're in this position. Even if you haven't, you'd be in this position, okay? So I like to take this coin and flip it over just before I do the vanish, just so they kind of, in an offhand way, see a coin. But very carefully, I have the heads pointing in so that everything's going to match up and look right later on. I show the 3 coins this way. Now I'm going to show you what this looks like from the back. All right, this is what it looks like from the back. And all that happens is, as you pretend to take that top coin, your right thumb slides it into the shell. That's imperceptible from the front because of the fingers, and it looks like this. You come away with these hands, you roll the hand outward, and you dissolve it into the air. Now that action, you could do whatever you want. You could throw it up to the side, but I keep it the same each time because that's going to help with the last one. Now, I'm able to separate both hands and show 2 separate coins. And then I can flip this over to show a front and a back and replace it here so that when this goes into the shell, it's going to go in exactly as you set it up so you can repeat it for the next table. Do the next vanish. It goes. Show both sides of the coin. People worry about the edges and whether you're going to see that. If you keep this coin in motion, there is no human being on earth that's going to notice the edge, the less than millimeter edge of the coin that's extended out from the shell, as long as you keep it in motion. And now we come to the last one. This is the watch vanish. I hold the coin between my thumb and first finger from above, with the other fingers lined up beneath. Not like this, not like this, exactly like this. Now my left fingers come up here like so, and I place the coin at the base of the left fingers. And as I close my left hand, like this, These 3 fingers stay in my left hand, but the thumb and first finger continue down the wrist and tuck the coin under the watch. I'll do that again. You don't have to do it fast, you don't have to rush it, but you should do it swiftly. In other words, you shouldn't make it slow motion, it should be like this. So important to snap the right hand when you come away. So after you do it, and it's a bare-handed production with sleeves rolled back. I love this vanish. This is a watch vanish. Now, Bobo has a version of the watch vanish by Jim Buffalo in his book. The Pentium Vanish by Ivan Lubig is a great, basically precursor to this. But this is my finesse point. This is my handling of it. It's so bold, and yet it works. I'm telling you it works. I have used this all over the world for so long, and the eyes have a lot to do with it, the way the fingers are, so it's like this. You show the coin here, you go to put it in the left hand, you continue down the wrist, show, and show. You notice I'm not doing this, I'm doing this. That's important. And secondly, watch the eyes. They follow the coin, but then they betray the move when they follow the wrong hand. So when you show the left hand empty, they know it's empty and their eyes go right after this hand. And when you show this hand empty, you know you got them. This is only possible with the triad coins. This is a routine. The reason I say routine is because you produce 3 coins, one by one, from midair, and then you use them in a 3-fly-like coins across. But at the end, you involve the spectator's hands, and here's the best part. You do magic so impossible that seemingly it could only be done with special coins. But at the end of the trick, all the coins end up in their hand and examinable. So, what do you need? You need triad coins, this special gaff set, and you need 2 half-dollars. I use 2 normal half-dollars. It's been suggested to me that you should buy 2 additional sets so that you could use the mill-down coin. It's ridiculous. Not necessary. If they're looking at the thickness of the coin and they notice a 1 millimeter difference, you are letting them examine them far too long. So, 2 coins begin in finger palm in the left hand. Okay? Same stuff applies, showing the hand empty. Triad coins begins in normal setup position in the finger palm in right hand. So you can have these in your pocket, and when you're ready to come to the table to do it or whatnot, you have them in both hands like this. So you can show both hands empty, but of course not totally freely. Now you produce first coin however you like, show it if you like, roll it down the hands, and then when you're ready to denest, you allow the next one to fall, and you display that coin there as you produce the second one. Same thing, show 2, and of course, produce the third one. Produce them any way you like, because now that you've produced them, you're going to keep the head side out this time and show the triad coins in a spread in the right hand. You've just produced 3 coins, and now we go right into a coins across sequence. To do the coins across sequence, it's exactly what you'd think, but because you are locked and loaded with 2 shells, there's no transfers, none in the whole routine. So you show 3, and as you go to say where they'll appear, you do the first one. The 3 coins, 1, 2, and 3, will go from here to here. Now there's a little bit of a tinny sound as you nest this coin in plain sight. You don't have your other hand to make it a more of a dulled sound. So because of that, it's masked by producing this coin up at the fingertips, and both sounds happen at the same time, and they see a coin here and they look back, and by the time they look back, you've nested the milled coin into the shell, and you have a really clean show of 2 and 1. But this is one of the few 3-fly routines I've ever seen in which you go to the next phase without any kind of crossover. So without even hesitating, you could say you saw the first one, you're going to hear the second one. And you come right back up, and now you're completely clean. So what happened there? Well, you nested the large shell into the other one, and at the same time that you do that, you simply You're holding the coins like this, you turn up and you just drop the coin onto the other one. Clink. So all together it's like that. All right, if you play with these coins in your hands, you're going to get it almost instantly, I would think. So now you have 2 and 1. You're going to ask the spectator to hold out his hand or her hand, and you give the coins to the spectator to hold. So I place the 2 coins in his outstretched hand. You can show both sides. You place it so the tail side is facing out. You do a retention vanish. So you pretend to put the coin in the left hand, but you keep it in the right, in classic palm. And here's the beautiful thing. When you cover your hand with his, vanish the coin in your left hand, if you just ease the classic palm, only the examinable coin falls out. The other 2 stay there, and you leave the spectator with 3 real coins in his hand.